The answer is take the win and run.
I get hung up on certain things.
I have OCD, Jake.
I mean, hi guys, my name's Jeff. I'm an equal opportunity lover. You guys know that.
But wouldn't the dog want to stay on the meat wagon?
We say you can convince the dog to hop off.
That's insane.
Yeah, I'm intelligent.
That's such a Jeff answer right there.
He's handsome, curly-haired, and Jewish, sitting right here.
Jeff, you are a golden retriever.
Hey, Jake, that's what you kids call that drip, right?
It was good despite the gastric consequences, but call me the crystal ball here, man. I'm getting everything right except my own picks. That's really, to me, a battle of two of the coaches with the best hair.
Welcome to the E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Founded in 2013, the EHL is your next step on the path to college. Over the past decade, the EHL has established itself as the college placement leader on the East Coast. And now, here's your host, the commissioner of the Eastern Hockey League, Neil Ravin.
Thanks, Joe. With that, let's bring in Jeff and Jake. Guys, how are we feeling this morning?
Excellent, boys. How are you feeling?
Great, man. I'm fantastic. I heard that this episode's gonna be very similar to last week, just a half hour on Zach Spikuza. Am I correct on that?
Oh my god.
If Zach Spikuza was playing tonight in the Four Nations game, probably. Jake,
I could try to figure out a way to work that in last minute here.
Could you imagine now, like all the posts about like Quinn Hughes, like what practice he's at? We just get this like random parody account that says Zach Spikuza is en route to Boston. Like it'll be
going to be like about time.
It'll be like from like Jock Basile, not Jake Basile, and people will be like, "Is that a real reporter or a fake reporter?"
Whether it's Jake or Jock, it's not really a real reporter.
well, because I saw one. Well, the big reporter is Frank Saravelli, right? So did you see the one that was like Frank Saravelli? Have you seen that account?
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, those ones, I hate those because they get me every now and then, and I'm like, no way. And I'm like, wait, that's not possible. That's not real. So, anyways.
Zach Spikuza is not heading to the Four Nations for anyone that's wondering right now.
But if he was the 13th forward, he may score, Jeff.
He may. Yes, he may. Let's just send Cam Plum there too. We're at
it. And Charles Etienne Waugh. It'd be a great line.
Duo.
Well, Charles Etienne Waugh can't play for Team USA.
Duh. Sorry.
He's a little not American, yeah.
On that note, we'll start going around the E Show.
Let's take a look at what's going on around the E Show.
You guys are watching tonight, though, right? Because that was like a little bit. It wasn't an argument in my household. I just said that I may not be a part of the bedtime routine tonight because, like, you can't.
Do you get the next 2 nights after this, Neil?
I'll take the next like 5 nights, but my point is like, you can't miss the start of the game tonight.
You can't.
I don't think there'll be 3 fights in 9 seconds, but
I doubt it. For
the off chance that there is,
you gotta watch.
You have to watch from start to finish.
So I'm working. Gotta love it. Northeastern men's basketball, 7 p.m. tip off. So I'm recording it. So I had to do this the other night too. I didn't watch it till 11 p.m. But I'll probably be watching on wonderful tape delay, as they used to call it.
So when you do that, are you like the guy from Fever Pitch who can't hear the result until you watch the game?
I used to do that, and that will literally drive you mentally insane into the loony bin. So yeah, because I think I told my dad last week, and then he kept texting me stuff. I was like, yeah, I'm watching it later, record. He's like, 3 fights, 9 seconds, this, and he gave me like Spark Notes versions. I was like, all right, and I said I was watching it later. Thanks, Dad, appreciate you.
My brother does that. He won't check his phone and stuff. The other day he had his notifications off. And I was like, you're not that important. And he was like, no, I just want to not like get the results of the game.
For the Four Nations game or for an Islanders game?
He'll do it for both.
Wow.
He's like crazy because we have to watch it on ESPN Plus. So there's a delay for like Islander games and stuff. So he will not like, and I get like text on my phone. He just will be like, shut up. Like, don't tell me what it says. He's a bizarre individual.
I do get the goal alerts on my phone, and we have Fubo, so the goal will happen 30 seconds after the alert comes. So if you ever see me on Do Not Disturb, it's because I really want to watch the game. My neighbors are probably like, wow, you're 30 seconds late, but whatever. Anyways,
they can't truly hear that.
Yeah, exactly. I live in the woods, basically, Jeff. So there's a lot of trees. There's a lot of snow right now in the way. But
poured some snow, poured some rain over the weekend. That's for sure.
You guys are literally an hour south of me, and
Or so, yeah.
We have like 2 feet of snow on the ground.
Yeah, we did not get that.
I got like 8 inches. You know?
Yeah, but hasn't it all like just melted?
No, it's pretty like icy out there.
Okay.
But yeah, that's just plenty.
You're actually like 2 hours south of me, Neil. You're an hour 45. Just double check.
True. I would still refer to that as around the corner, but regardless.
Whoa.
The kid from Maine. Around the corner.
Jake, when you grow up in Maine, everything is a 2-hour ride. You're just like, it's right there.
Yep.
2 hours.
Fair play.
Even Massachusetts was like that too. Living in Rhode Island, I've been spoiled the last friggin' 5 or 6 years. Everything's like a 10-minute ride.
Yeah. Well, I did call this section or this segment Around the East Show, so I guess we should start.
Yeah, I guess we should.
We actually did start with Spikusa.
Yeah.
So
and then we were covering the weather in the EHL's footprint. So it really, we've done it.
Ta-da.
Oh man.
Gotta keep everyone entertained, you
know? But let's go back. Let's start EHLP because Jake kicked us off there. Are we hoping for Wolves versus 87s at this point?
Sounds good to me. See you there.
Can't say that. Look at the jacket I'm wearing, dude.
I understand that, right? But
Jake's check's about to bounce this week. It's real pink. He's wearing an Express jacket for anyone that doesn't know.
But
we're doing a radio show.
The Wolves are 32-4 now, and the 87s are 30-4. So both of them are threatening for top 5 records of all time.
Yeah, and the league title this year for the regular season. Yeah. I mean, it could come down to Philadelphia.
They don't play each other there, right?
I don't believe so.
Did they already play each other?
I don't believe so either. I don't think they played each other at Wellesley.
One of the craziest questions, though, if they do play each other, is it McGillicuddy or is it Frankie Smith? Both have been unbelievable this year.
True that.
Well, they did play each other.
Oh, snap.
It was a 6-4 win for the Wolves over the 87s. And neither one of those 2 goalies that you just mentioned, Jeff, played in game. That game.
What? Who was it?
It was Christian Amato for the 87s. So so if these 2 teams do face each other, it'll be a goalie that the Wolves have not seen before.
It's still crazy. The 87s have played 34 games. They've only given up 51 goals.
Is that good?
Frankie Smith has a goals against of 1.08. That's insane.
It's just nuts.
This was a wild game. The Wolves scored the first 2. The 87 scored the next 4. The Wolves scored the next 4. Wow. That's a very symmetrical
that is just the P show.
Yeah, stay in your lane game, right? So
I mean, even last year's game was back and forth, right? The Wolves had the 3-1 lead over the 87s at Providence last year. The 87s came back, and then who else was everybody's favorite EHLP captain? They just went overtime.
and I say that, well, we've obviously touched on the other contenders in the North Division. We'll get to it more in fantasy. The unreal season that Cole Davidson is putting together for Adirondack. And I know they've been knocked out of the first round each of the last 2 seasons, so they would love to get some revenge this year. And then you look at the top of the division.
Though. They're not in the top of the division. They're in the middle. Maybe that's the secret.
Maybe that is the secret.
Maybe it's a little better for them. Play with a little chip on their shoulder, not the pressure, right? They could be kind of just like, hey, whatever happens, what happens. We're the 4 seed. We're playing maybe the number 1 team in the P after that. Whatever happens, happens. And with Cole Davidson leading the way.
Exactly.
Wow. Does it come to you and you're like, I'm going to just drop this in 5 seconds? Or do you think of it at way ahead of time?
That one was just sometimes I do think of them ahead of time, but that one was just right now.
Okay.
We're going to keep it down, please, in the back of the Cadillac Ice Arena. That's Jake's office, please. We're working here.
Yeah, he's in the calf right now. I want to just look at the top of the East Division next for a second. So you got 2 teams at the top that each have 45 points. One has won 6 straight. The other has won 5 straight. They have a 10-point lead over the Express, 11 points over the Nor'easter. So unless both teams drop, call it their next 2 or next 3. Capitals have 7 games remaining in the regular season. Seahawks have 6. This will come down to the 2 of them for the number 1 seed. Question 1, does it matter? Question 2, who gets it?
don't know if it matters. Talent-wise, they're so close, but maybe Jake does.
I mean, I don't know much at all, but like I think like it's so interesting because the Nor'easter has done well against every team in that division except the Express, right? And it doesn't look like they're going to play each other first round, which is probably good for the Nor'easter. The Seahawks and Capitals have had a lot of success against the Express. Whether that carries over into the playoffs is obviously unknown, but the way those two teams have been trending in the Nor'easter and Express, one has been going down in the last couple months, one has been going up. So I think it's one of the most unpredictable races in the league right now. But if you're Providence and the Seahawks, you've lost to the Nor'easter more than you've lost to the Express. So I don't know if you just look at it that way.
Yeah. And I bring it up because it's a little bit of a transition into the EHL in regards to the Seahawks right now at the EHL level are one of the hottest teams. They have a legit shot of getting the 3 seed in the East Division, which for them, that would avoid, per se, the Express in the first round. They would get the Wizards. There's a possibility that we could have Express versus Seahawks at both levels in the same round.
Yeah, I was thinking that yesterday.
Has that been thought about at all in the building that you're in, though? And would the Express want that?
Are you asking the P team or the E team? Because one is 1-4 and the other is 4-1.
So that same question that's a dangerous question to both of them, though. As we talked about the Wizards Express series, like if you haven't beaten them all year, if you've beaten them all year, do you really want them again?
Are beyond legit. Like I think they are a championship contending team. And I've said it for like a couple of weeks now that they are a couple of months now since before the December showcase that they're going to be one of the teams to look out for in the new year. I mean, I think they've won like 12 out of their last 16 games. They're amongst the hottest teams in the league. Everybody's going for them. Gelman, the Judo, Corey Cashel, one of the best captains in the league. Danny Kehoe is an 05, and they have a lot of young guys too that could be coming back. So the Seahawks are legit.
And should we talk about the trade that went through last night?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear about this or see this. Do tell. I don't get trade notifications on my EHL app.
Well, yes. And like what's funny, Jeff, is like
insider info.
I can think that I am dropping some unknown knowledge in a text to our groups or you name it. And then Jake already knows. Like it's actually starting to piss me off a little bit, right? Because how did he know about this when I thought I was the only one who knew about this?
Well, here's the thing, man. I'm on the ground
with the
floor.
Players guy.
I'm on the ground floor.
He's the ringside reporter.
I get that, but you're making me feel powerless.
Well,
no, I just, it's just, I'm a social butterfly. What can I say?
Alex Cameron from the Dukes to the Seahawks, Jeff.
Okay. I don't know much about Alex Cameron, but I have not seen the Dukes very much this year.
But
one of
their better scorers, the Seahawks. I mean, I'll say this: Bill Zanaboni is a big fan of the trade deadline. I think his first year or second year in the league, he was making a late time move like this, looking to add some scoring. I think he texted me. It must have been like 11 o'clock at night, and he was like, "You still awake?" And I was like, "Yes." And he goes, "Well, the trade deadline's in an hour, so you better be still awake." And I was like, oh, okay. He's like, why is nobody answering me? Does nobody want to make a last second deal? And I'm like, I don't know what to say, man. So trade deadline this year is Tuesday. And I don't get big on this, guys, but it is technically my birthday too. So
early birthday, Commish.
If anyone wants to
46, right?
40,
I got it on my Google Calendar. Whoa. Minus a few years there. And by a few, I mean a decade. You're turning 34. You're 2 years, or you're turning 34?
Yes, correct.
Yeah. We're like a year and a change apart. Shut up, Jake. I'm 35. I'm going to be 36 in September. Eat my shorts, all right?
So I told Vicky, I was like, what are we doing for my 35th birthday next week? She was like, you're turning 34. I was like, Jesus Christ.
Oops. Yeah. We're at that point. We stopped caring. I'm with you, buddy.
Anyways, there aren't a lot every year. There's probably, call it 5 or so each year. Sometimes they move the needle in a big way. We'll call that one like a 6.
I don't know. I was gonna say I'm just diving in. He was injured. He was out. I do remember. I think we talked about him.
Yeah, he's a legit player. Yeah, he's good.
He was
an
out
all-star.
Yeah, he was out most of November, most of December, just came back in February. He's already got 3 goals and assist in 5 games.
Yeah.
For a Dukes team that doesn't have a lot of scoring options either. So, I mean, that's got to be taken into consideration because they're definitely keying in on a guy like that. So, 12 points in 20 games. Also had some big Pims games, Neil, my favorite.
Just, I don't think that will help.
He's got some aggression to him. 37 Pims in 20 games. I mean, he had a 12er, he had a 15. Had a couple of minors. I had a lot of goose eggs. You know, just one angry game against the Valley Junior Warriors. They tend to bring out the anger in you sometimes. They're a physical team, you know.
What was the
hockey?
Who was the goalie? Why you have to be so mad? It's only game.
Brizgalov.
Brizgalov.
Yikes!
Beauty.
Could do a whole episode on him.
So I did say that the Seahawks could catch third place. Technically, they're actually in third place now. With that
They've
win.
caught it.
Yes. Listen, I caught myself in that one last week.
I like it.
I'll give Trimble credit. He was like, we clinched first. You said we almost did, and then before I could even respond, he's like, "Oh, you then confirmed it." I was like, "Yes." I'm doing math as we go here, guys. Right?
Yeah.
So, Seahawks are in third place, 1 point lead over the Eagles. They've both played the same number of games, right? And remember, the teams are going to play non-division opponents down in Philly. So it's going to be really interesting just to see, like, you know, if the game means nothing. You want to bring it back to like the Four Nations conversation. That game Monday meant nothing for the US, but Sweden wanted to win a game for their pride. So we kind of have to watch that same thing when it comes to who these teams are going to be playing down in Philadelphia.
It's the season too, when you're playing teams that have clinched or haven't clinched and you're fighting for spots. It's getting to that games remaining area of the standings where, you know, one of my favorite sayings comes back: rest first rust. Hey, what's up, baby?
Yeah, that's
we still haven't made those shirts yet, Neil. Where are those?
I will say this will sound a little bit morbid, Jeff, and I apologize, but that could be on your tombstone.
In like 60 years. I love it. Sounds great. Make it to the ripe age of 95. Can't wait.
Did you see the note that Justin put in the group text? So if your tombstone said rest versus rust, underneath it could say he chose rest.
I love it. I ain't rusting, baby. I'm rusting. Well done, Justin. Well done.
Oh my god,
man, Justin.
That was good.
Anyways, the Seahawks down in Philadelphia are facing the Avalanche, who could have won the number 1 seed locked up at that time, right? Rhode Island could already be confirmed at 2. Huntsman, I would argue, probably are still fighting for something by that final game of the regular season, right? For the Eagles, they're scheduled down in Philadelphia. They get Vermont, Valley, and the Express. So it's tough to predict now. I do hope that, like last season, it was Vermont and Valley last year who had to play it all the way through to the last day. I hope we have more of that this year. So we'll go to the North Division. We just mentioned the Avalanche. Again, we don't like doing the math live, but we're going to do the math live right now on the podcast. The Avalanche have a 14-point lead over the Wolves, who have 8 games left. 8 times 2. I can't wait to do this with Chase, by the way, guys. I can't wait to get into math. I liked math growing up, so he better like math. That's all I have to say. Anyways, 8 times 2 is 16. 16 plus 54 is 70. Avalanche are 2 points away from reaching 70. I don't know who owns the tiebreaker right now. That would be close. So to be safe, Avs, once you get to 71, you'll clinch the number 1 seed. And you're
the X and the Y. Hey-o.
Well, and maybe regular season champ also.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a better. Once that was in the Express's control, and now it's back the other way. I mean, they've kind of jockeyed all season, but Avalanche 4-point gap. If the Express win today, it's 2 points with all even going down the stretch. They play each other. March, the very last game for the Express is against the Avalanche. That would be crazy if it's for the regular season title.
Yeah, for sure.
Case, give it to us. Juicy.
Just to round out the rest of the North Division, Wolves, because of that lead that the Avs have over them and the lead that they have over the Vermont, they are pretty much locked into 2. So no jokes, being made here. Rest versus Russ. It will be interesting to see how they do kind of balance their lineup out so that they're peaking at the right time going into the postseason, knowing that they're going to be the 2 seed, right?
Back and forth game with the Wizards yesterday for the Wolves, huh?
Very
6-4 final.
Yeah.
Wizards. Woo.
If you had the over, you win.
You win.
Lumberjacks and Warriors, huge 3-game series this weekend. If Valley can pick up all 3 wins in that, it would probably give them a shot at catching them for the 3 seed. Even if they win 2, they probably still have a chance. But if Vermont wins 2 of the 3, you can probably lock Vermont into the 3 seed. Valley looking like they're in a good spot for the 4 seed, and that's the North. So we've covered North and we've covered East. Jake referenced the game that the Express have today. It's against the division leading, and they now have a 14-point lead, guys. Did you notice that? Where did that come from?
They've won 7 of their last 10. They are very, very good right now, and the top line has been Radek, Kelly, and Kroon, and Aiden Radek currently has 7 straight multi-point games right now.
Wow.
Which is just insane. That could be the best line in the EHL. That could be the best line in the EHL. And
I just did an interview with them, I believe, right?
I did. A week
or 2. I remember watching that.
Yeah, right after he won Star of the Week. Yep.
It's a great addition for JP.
Oh my God, huge for them. I mean, Kroon is on an 8-game point streak. Declan Kelly is on a 7-game point streak. Like, when their top line is going, they have a chance to win any game. They obviously are responsible for probably a little bit more of the team offense than any team wants in terms of being spread up and down the lineup. But when you have a line like that, it's like the perfection line here in the EHL.
34 points in 19 games. That's quite the torrid pace. That's what the Wizards did last year. What was it, O'Connell, I think, that they added late? Yep. He did kind of the same thing.
Yeah. So they being the Capitals have to feel like they are peaking at the right time, heading towards the postseason. Just to continue with the math on the podcast, because we love doing that, they are also, call it 2 points from tying how the number that the Rhode Island can get, 3 points from clinching that 1 seed, only in their second year, right? And they just brought in Brogan Shea, scoring their first game, guys. So, like, this team is getting deeper at the same time.
Getting complacent. I like to see it.
So, for the rest of the division, what do we think right now of the Connecticut Rough Riders?
Hot as a skillet, baby. Let's go, Lendy. Let's go, Brownie.
If I'm not mistaken, I know they've beaten the Capitals at least once this season. I'm not sure if it was twice, but they've beaten them at least once. So there you go right there. But I'm also super interested in the 2 versus 3 because it's going to be another year of Rhode Island versus Nor'easter. I mean, last year was Chiefs, but this year it's Nor'easter. And like, Rhode Island is kind of a team like Adirondack. They haven't been at the top of the division, but like, we're going on year 3 and they need to kind of do something in the postseason here.
Yeah, I would totally agree. I think
wise man once said to me, "Don't let the Rough Riders get hot."
Yeah, who was that wise man? But anyways, I think it's funny because I've said this previously on the podcast, like in terms of the South Division and PHC, Little Flyers, and Huntsmen. In terms of Rhode Island, Rough Riders, and Nor'easter, it could come down to who's playing the best hockey right at the end of the season that can give Providence the toughest test come March.
Yeah, it might come down to confidence, just like who's feeling themselves come mid-March.
Yeah.
It's a good move by Jeff Perot to keep adding here too. So that way there you don't become that, top line heavy, shut down the top line and that's it kind of recipe. That's not always not a good way to go into the playoffs, one line heavy. You want to be rolling 4.
For sure. South Division yesterday. Do you think teams are scoreboard watching mid-game or no, they're not?
Probably not. They should not be, right? It shouldn't be on our cell
they
phones.
are. I definitely think they are.
You think so?
Yeah, because like last year in the playoffs, like we tagged a kid in a post and he liked it like in between periods.
Oh boy,
That's
Pablo
so
Sandoval. Here we go.
They're doing that in the playoffs.
Pablo Sandoval.
Fucking stuff mid game. I don't know how'd that work out for Pablo. Him and his belt snapped. That's
Not
another.
about that. That was a huge signing for them, Jeff, for the Red Sox. And then his like first swing, his belt breaks. Like, geez, that's not a good look.
That was
Anyways,
like 50 pounds over freaking weight. Oh my god.
I say our team's checking scores in terms of the Bears and 87s, right? So if you're the Bears, at one point yesterday, you peek over and PHC is shutting out the 87s. And the 87s peek over and the Bears are losing to the Rough Riders, right? So obviously the games end and the Rough Riders beat the Bears. 87s come back to beat PHC. So the same question, are these two teams, is the one seed mean that much between these two teams? I think in this division, more than anything else, it does.
I don't know if it does.
Why do you say that?
I don't know. I mean, playoffs just playoffs. I feel like our league has shown that though, that the one seed doesn't always matter. I mean, look at the Bears last year.
And the Bears, obviously formerly the Protect Ducks, have been the one seed. Also, I just think the confidence between these two teams against each other, if it comes down to these two teams being able to play it in your own building in what feels like inevitably a series that will go 3 games, I think it could be what pushes one of them slightly over the edge of the other.
I think that's fair. And I think it matters more to the Bears because they've been in control for so long. So I think if they backslide in the last 6 games and the 87s do manage to topple that, it's more of an indictment on them. And the 87s, who have kind of been in second since the beginning of the season, it's a similar situation we were talking about in the North. Like, you kind of have that like nothing to lose mentality. Obviously, the 87s are a tremendous team and expectations are super high for them in the postseason. But, since October, they've had a gap for that for the first place spot rather. So I think it definitely means more for the Bears if they lose it, what that says about the way they head into the postseason.
Yeah, for sure. And not to say that anyone 3, 4, 5 can't come out of this division, because if any division has proven that can happen, it's this division, right? But
they proved the 4 seed could win this division easily.
But we do have to acknowledge that the Huntsmen have won 3 straight. Those are Jeff's South boys, if anyone didn't know. Jeff, big fan of big fan of Zach Overholtzer. Zach Overholtzer, big fan of Jeff. It's probably the matching similar beards. Would you think?
Yeah.
A little bit. Beer guys. Beer power.
Jeff, sneak preview, are you gonna pick the Huntsmen for your South Division team to come out of it? Jeff,
no comment.
Jeff.
No comment.
Zero comment. Okay. Cards are close to his chest, I suppose.
Can't tell you, sir.
Listen, I think, again, back to our sports book. If there was a future for Jeff's potential pick, it's him. I think we know who you're picking, Jake.
Yes.
Which gives me, if we want to be different, the choice between 2 other playoff teams.
Yeah. So it's like there's no bad pick in the South.
No, you can make the case for any single one of these teams. So
the Flyers are in last, but they're not dead yet. That's a team that's won a lot of playoff games and made a lot of runs. Haven't had the success at the Frozen Finals they wanted, but
the Huntsmen won the first end of that home and home series yesterday to increase their lead to a 6-point gap over the Little Flyers. Both have 8 games left, so got to come down. This division inevitably will come down to that last weekend. So Philly Hockey Club only 2 points ahead of the Huntsmen. So that's where the divisions stand right now. As I mentioned, Tuesday is the trade deadline. We also call it the free agent signing deadline. So Tuesday is the last chance to bring somebody in from outside of your organization. Look at it that way, right? After Tuesday, if you have EHL and EHLP, you can move players back and forth throughout the remainder of the regular season. That way, if you get to the Philly showcase and your EHL or your EHLP is totally locked in exactly where they are in the playoffs, and you want to potentially, again, rest some guys, you can move guys back and forth. Is there any team in particular that you guys are watching to see? They may not make it in the EHL. They may push a few more guys to EHLP for the postseason. Is there any team that checks those boxes for you to keep an eye on? Maybe even a player in particular who you want to see where that player plays in the postseason.
With Jake's ESP, I think we have to go to him first on this one. He probably already knows. There's probably already been a movement, and
I don't know if I know. I feel like it's definitely been a little more set than last year. I guess Vermont for me is the biggest team where there are, you know, a lot of swingers, for a lack of a better word. But no, I mean, I look at guys like Caden Jacobs, Nathan Holland, Keegan Lozier, all guys that have kind of shared time at both levels this season. Guys that have been playing more Premier lately. If they're down, that makes a huge impact for Vermont's Premier team. And I mean, Vermont's EHL team, I think, has won 3 of their last 4. So, you know, for Coach Jack and Coach Reyes right now, probably they're going to keep everything exactly where it stands, right? You don't touch what, you know, you don't fix what, how does that phrase go? I lost it. Don't fix what, I don't even.
Oh,
if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
There you go.
Correct.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So I think
that's not on Jeff's tombstone. It only says Rust versus Rust. But yes, he does like that saying too.
Yeah. So
hashtag
broke what you fixed. Yeah. So I guess that's the big one. I don't know too many other teams where it's been like, you know, up and down.
Everybody gets in, but you start to think
about
about,
do you really.
There you go. Do you start to think about this team has a better chance to go further than that team? Like,
right.
You have to weigh those options.
You got to look at it realistically.
I mean, Jake may have potentially just started the fight in the Lumberjacks coaching staff, like, office between Alex Reyes and Jack Larry. Like, there could be a fist fight now, Jake. Are you okay with that?
Respect your elders.
That's a crazy like spread if you were to bet that fight. What do you look into there?
Youth and speed?
Yes.
Or
versus
age.
Been there, done that.
Correct.
Age and experience.
Yes.
Veteran experience.
Yeah. So, but like to keep with that like trend, Providence has swung some guys back and forth.
Oh, good point. But they're more steady. Like James Cameron's only played like 1 EHL game in the new year.
First place, tied for first place. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I think like for them, like they're in similar position for Vermont, where like the EHL team is doing really well. You kind of just gotta go with the flow right now.
Exactly.
Now it's time for the E-Show Fantasy Challenge. Follow along on the EHL app. Available now for free on both Apple iOS and Android.
Guys, by the end of the regular season, I will be done with, ready to move on from punching in fantasy points. Okay, it's fine right now.
Dude, he's going away.
In 3 weeks, I'm gonna be like, get this Google sheet out of my life. Okay,
is that going to be the new duty for director of hockey operations?
Or the interns or somebody else. Okay, because like. The numbers. You know what? Actually, you know who it's for, Jeff? It's for Chase. You know what? This is how you're going to learn numbers, Chase. Let's get it going like right now.
Punch it, baby.
So as we usually start every fantasy, we usually start with our Yahoo League, which is just on pause right now because of this 2-week hiatus.
Thank God.
Can't lose if they're not playing, Jeff.
Can't do it. It's true. No, it's fine. I'm more than good with it, buddy. After I lost to Chris Sorella 2 weeks ago with the guy in his IR, that was last week. Holy smokes. Yeah. I feel like I'm waving the white flag in our Yahoo League.
So are you going to pivot to DraftKings tonight, Jeff?
Been pivoting to DraftKings daily, nightly. Yes, I have.
I mean, and this is a toss-up tonight, truthfully, I feel like.
I was gonna say I haven't checked the lines yet, but it is a tough one. And guess what? This NHL season has been as predictable as a puck rolling on its edge. No one knows where it's going, but that just means there's time for your favorite team to figure things out and games left for you to get in the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. It's super easy for first timers to get started, so try betting on something simple like picking a team to win. Go punch USA, Moneyline, Freebird, Rip It all night long. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app, select your team, and place your first bet. And if you're new to DraftKings, listen up. New customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code THPN. That's code THPN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Do you have a gambling problem? So call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, you can call 877-8-HOPENY or text HOPENY 467-369. In Connecticut, that was available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Blue Hill Casino Resort in Kansas. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void that if you're in Ontario. New customers only. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. NHL and the NHL Shield are registered trademarks of the National Hockey League. NHL and NHL team marks are the property of the NHL and its teams. NHL 2025. All rights reserved.
Jake, I think everyone that listens to this podcast, if they keep notes, has learned that your brother's name is Mike. We call him Mikey. You're at the rink today, so you don't know, but he obviously works from 1 to 9. Has he woken up yet today? Like, does he text you?
Well, here's the deal, man. He's in New York because he's on February break. So whether he's awake or not doesn't. It's your guess is as good as mine.
Okay, because I was gonna say, has he said anything to you about yesterday? He went backwards.
Oh my God. Wow. I don't think he knows, but he talked to Cooper Grosskopf on the phone the other day, and he was like, we need to keep it going, man.
Yeah.
So they're locked in.
Jake, me and you are touching literally in the standings. 38, 39.
Wow, dude. Take me out to dinner first.
Hey.
Anyways, but sticking with the Basile family, right? Jake, your parents have fallen to the 25th also.
Oh no.
I know. Mom and Dad.
So this is gonna probably become the Basile Fantasy Challenge next year. Basile Family Fantasy Challenge. How about that? But just to touch on some of the players that have been tremendous. So Brendan Nee jumped back into first place yesterday, guys. He obviously has himself picked as the goalie. He has 267 saves so far in February.
That's friggin'
seeing a lot of rubber man development.
And yesterday he got a natural hat trick from my forward from last month, Daxton St. Hilaire. So he's back in first place, point lead over Kyan Klee, who's got all Lumberjacks there. We mentioned Caden Jacobs for the P team. He has 34 points. Obviously, a huge weekend for them. You would guess Wickens, the goalie, gets at least 1 start, two starts.
Start of the week.
I just got a note here, guys. Jake, you just said that Caden Jacobs is a forward. Do we have to put this under investigation?
This is under investigation. If I was Kyan Klee right now, because the Bureau of Investigations is coming, I would say I want Caden Jacobs as my forward and find another defenseman fast.
Wow.
Ooh. Michael Bankovich, did he get moved back to D?
Jacobs is 100% forward.
Michael Bankovich is back on D. That's confirmed.
This is fair.
He's the one that we talked about earlier in the year.
If Jacobs is the forward, he can't have Josh Bain either.
That would be correct.
Yeah.
That would be correct.
They play on a line together.
We have
a forward line together, not a D pairing. A forward
Nobody
line,
can ever come at me for cheating again. Okay, let's just get that out there right now.
You just wait until Chase Ravin comes into town next year. He's gonna lay down the hammer. He's gonna cross check you.
This is under investigation for all that I'm taking notes again. Daniel Kroon is in third place with a true forward defenseman goalie pick. Right, he has himself as a forward. 29 points so far this month. I am in fourth place, guys. I would love another top 5 finish. Not gonna lie.
Nice, good job, bud.
Well, it's all because of what did you call him that one time? The Seahawks forward. It's gentleman, but what did you call him?
I said he wasn't. When we were doing the dog series, I said
you called him a Joodle.
I said he wasn't a poodle. He was a Joodle.
That's what it was.
And then on the broadcast the other day, Sonny Arsenault said it was a huge goal for the Jewish community when he scored in overtime, which was absolutely electric.
I mean, it was an electric goal.
It was a sick goal. It was so sick.
Yes. So he has 22 points for me so far. I actually do have the goaltender from the Express P team as my goalie, Ben Ashton. He himself is like, okay, yes, Brendan Nee has 267 saves. I have 153 so far this month.
Whole month?
Yes.
They'll definitely get one of the two this weekend. They have Valley and Seahawks. So
okay, good to know. Good to know. The highest point getter so far of all players in the month of February is Cole Davidson with 47 fantasy points.
Goal.
Cole Davidson.
He has 8 goals, 8 assists, 2 power play points, 1 shorthanded point, a hat trick, ding, and a game winner. When you have all 6 categories with a number in it greater than 0 in my Google sheet, that's pretty good.
Doing pretty good.
Yeah, he should get something like a quench bottle.
Okay. I should order some more quench. Thank you for saying that.
Go get 2 more trash bags full of those so we can start tailing them out like hotcakes.
Give them to Eric Doyle.
Jake, so you've seen Adirondack. Does he play on a line with Bradley Parker?
When I want to say it was Ridley, Parker, and Cole Davidson, but it was November the last time I got to see those guys.
I mean, Parker has 37 fantasy points.
Yeah, he's super legit.
Every category also covered. 7 goals, 5 assists, 1 power play point, 1 shorthanded point, 1 hat trick, 1 game winner. So
yeah, they're getting better. They're getting better throughout the season. I mean, they have the offensive punch, I think, to win it. If they could slow down the Wolves forwards for one of those 3 games and then just outpace them in the other, like their chances are not as bad as, playing a 32-14 or whatever it is,
Yeah, for sure. And just to go through a list of some guys that are in the 20s, right? Damon Warren, 27 points. Cam Plum, 28 points. Declan Kelly, 22 points. Alex Lykoff, ho-hum, 25 points. There's a lot of guys putting up some big points here. Obviously, with it being a little bit of a extended month, February through the end of the regular season on March 10th, we're going to probably get our highest total and 1 more ticket punch to the round of champions. So for Mikey,
yay, maybe Neil.
well, for Mikey, if he can just keep going up, instead of down,
I'm rooting for him, and I don't often root
wow,
for
you are?
my yeah, no, I know.
The meanest brother in the entire world of brothers.
Are you what? I hope you're talking about him. I am a gentle soul.
Jakey, how many times have I had to yell at you in our group chat for just demeaning poor Mikey? Too many times, all right?
He can't even type. He deserves it.
That's a little rough. Now that he has an iPhone, we have the edit text. Mikey, we need to get a little better on that, bud. Love you, but we need to get better on editing the text.
The thing is, like, he doesn't look at his phone when he types. He's always looking at something else.
He did spell.
This is why his name is Sausage, because he wrote sausage with it.
Yes, he did spell donut DOUGHNUT yesterday. Nobody spells donut that way.
I was to say that can be spelled like that, but
no, it's correct.
That's correct, but nobody spells it that way.
It's like Merriam-Webster's way of spelling it, not like Duncan's,
Yeah, do not.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Marlborough and Foxborough are 2 Massachusetts towns. Same thing. You can do the OUGH or you can do the ORO.
Same thing with Northborough and Westborough, baby. Let's go.
Yeah,
my stomping ground.
Yep.
It's one is lazy, the other one is spelling it all the way out. But anyways, we'll wrap it all up now with what to watch for.
And now here's what to watch for in the EHL and the EHLP.
Obviously, some huge games on tap down the stretch here with big points on the line. I won't go first for once, guys. You because I don't want to steal from you guys. Who wants to go first?
I'm running in. Hopefully I didn't take Jake's if I do this, but it does involve Jake. How about Seahawks Express down at Tony Kent? Let's do it on Friday. Jake, are you going to that? You must be.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
The best of the East versus the hottest of the East. That is a marquee matchup. Jim McCabe, I would assume, on the call with Jake down below doing interviews. I mean, how can that not be your game of the week?
I like it. I'm going to go with Battle in the South at noon today. I think it is probably the most important game of the year right now for the Philly Little Flyers taking on the PA Huntsmen. So this could be their season today. So pretty massive.
For sure. For sure. If the Little Flyers can win that game Tuesday when they face the Bears, potential playoff preview similar to last year, right? The Bears were the 1 seed, Little Flyers were the 4. They play again Tuesday. So just to get back into the cheating ways, I'll cheat and double down with the second game. We also have Wizards versus Capitals on Wednesday. Remember, the Wizards, one of the last undefeated teams. The Capitals were the team that beat them to break that record. So had to pick 2 games to the EHLP. Jeff, you start again.
Doubling down, Express Seahawks P, Saturday, February 22nd. Is that no? But all joking aside, I mean, we've talked about the East Division and the EHLP, how close it is. The Seahawks have won 4 out of 5 of those matchups: 6-1, 3-2, 5-4, 3-0 most recently on February the 8th. Lost 4-3, so that's a lot of really tight games for teams that are separated by 10 points there in the East Division. So doubling down, Express Seahawks ×2.
I will go on I'm going to go with the Nor'easter Adirondack series, because not only is that like a unique matchup, right? East versus North, like with the Express playing 2 really good teams, and now the Nor'easter having 2 games against, Adirondack this weekend, and a game against the Avs today, I believe.
Yep.
And they trail the Express by 1 point with 1 more game played. This weekend could very well determine the 3 and 4 of this division, because if the Nor'easter go 1-2 or 0-3 for them, like that, they could be putting rest on their tombstones for that 3 spot.
And not in a good way.
I don't know.
I'm taking the good kind of rest on my tombstone.
Tombstone, like using that word in the podcast title is probably too morbid this week, but like we've covered it a lot.
Maybe getting stoned would be a good one.
That could be taken a few different ways, but
okay.
Anyway.
Hey, it's a goaltending term. Stoned him on the save.
True.
Use the goalie's face. Hey,
Stoneham is a town name, right? So
now we're working here. Okay.
I will wrap it up in the EHLP with the Bears versus Union Thunder on Sunday, because right now that's 2 versus 3 in the South Division standings. Obviously, the 87s have already clinched the number 1 seed. So if those 2 teams can take care of business here down the stretch, when you get to the division semifinals, that will be the matchup, right? So for those 2 teams, big game Sunday. They've really split all their contests so far this year. And like I brought up with the 87s and Bears at the EHL level, home ice could be huge if that is a series that goes to 3 games. So, but Jake, I think you have a summer, or not, I just said summer. Whoa. A February vacation camp to get to.
I do have a February. Yeah, it's going on right behind me right now.
How has it been so far?
Cold.
Rugby hockey, woo!
It is a colder rink.
Really cold. Yeah. That's all
you
got.
Guys. Do you guys have any the stud pros there that, since they're on break, anyone that's not in the 4 Nations tournament?
Oh, I don't know.
No,
I deal with people that are like 20 and under.
Got it.
Again,
I don't know if Matty Beniers or any of those guys came back, but they're enjoying their break. Actually, no, they just had to report back to their teams yesterday, so
yeah,
too bad.
Like I say every week, guys, though, if you can't make it out to see the games in person, watch them online. I tuned in. I saw Jacob Gelman's overtime winner. I heard Jake's call. I tuned in. I saw Danny Storella, unreal goal for him against the Wolves the other day, right?
Toe dragger.
Flow Hockey, you got some good angles on there. So if you can't make it in person, watch on Flow Hockey. And we'll talk to you guys next week after my birthday, which is also the free agent and trade deadline day. So we should have some more to talk about.
Early birthday, Commish.
Thanks for listening to The E Show, presented by the Hockey Podcast Network. Learn more about us at easternhockeyleague.org and follow us on all of your favorite social media platforms. Also, be sure to subscribe and get notified when our next podcast episode is released.